Hey everyone, just wanted to show you just a little bit of simple math when it comes to calculating the tax on your receipt, because as you know, there are some receipts that don't have the tax percentage on there, and there's just a simple way you can calculate that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have their own ways, but here's one way you can actually do it quite quickly, I think. Alright, so here we go. So again, we're going to see how we can calculate. If I can do it better than that. Calculate the tax percentage, okay, on a receipt. So anytime you purchase anything, naturally you get a receipt. That's really your choice. Sometimes I know people take the receipt and they trash it, and sometimes they just don't really worry about what they spend. And my thing is, if you're actually looking to save, you might want to look at the receipt to just see what it says. Alright, but to calculate this thing, alright, just to kind of show you where it comes from, it is based off of what we call percent change. Alright, this is percent change, okay? It is this little simple formula here. So you're going to take your numerator, which is the difference of two numbers. Okay, difference of two numbers are kind of shorthanded, so you know what I mean. Difference of two numbers, all right, divided by your starting number. All right, so in other words, if I were to, let's say I want to calculate the percent change between, I don't know, I'm going to just say between, let's say, 5 and 9, right? So I went from 5 and I'm going up to 9, right? So I want to calculate that percent change. So we simply do this simple calculation. The difference of the two numbers, which of course is 5 minus 9. I'm sorry, excuse me. Let's do it the other way. 9 minus 5. In some books, they actually have it as you can just subtract whatever the order is. I always like to, do it when I get a positive result, because I know that I'm actually increasing in the percent change because I went from 5 up to 9. Some, do it the other way, but I think just keep it positive and then we'll go from there. All right, so we have 9 minus 5, which we know is 4. All right, and you're going to divide by the number that you started with. In this case is 5. So we simply have 4 divided by 5. And for those of you that are fans of fractions, because I know a lot of you are not fans of fractions, you can simply put this in your calculator and you should get 0.8 or 80%. So that is an 80% change, or positive change. All right. So we use this for anytime you have surveys or anytime you have any kind of calculations when it comes to simple numbers. When you see certain increases or decreases, you tend to see this in business. You tend to see this when it comes to census bureaus, when they're calculating statistical models. So they can show you what the percent change is. They can say it's going to be a 50% increase or a 50% decrease, anything like that. So you can see where they get those numbers from. Also, when it comes to stocks, so anybody that's a fan of stocks, or if you're investing in stocks, that's what they're talking about. So you may see something where they're saying like a 200% increase. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the price where it started from, and then they're looking at the price where it ended. So again, they simply do the difference of those two numbers. That's how they figure out what those percent changes are. All right, so we're going to take the same concept and we're going to figure out what the percentage is. So I have a receipt here that I garnered recently, and I want you to look at this thing. All right, so of course, as you can tell, I crossed out certain things, so there wouldn't be any information going out there, because I know there's some identity thefts, thieves, not thefts, but thieves going out there, right? But here you go. So we already know what the tax percentage is, of course, in Maryland. I'm coming from DC, so here's Maryland, or Maryland receipt, and of course their percent is 6%, as you can tell right there. And here is the tax amount that was added. All right, but let's assume we didn't know that, so I'm gonna have you put this in your memory banks just to let you know what we should get. But let's assume we didn't know that. Let's assume we don't know that, but we do know subtotal and we know tax percent. All right, so let's see what that says. So with that receipt, again, we want to find out what the tax percentage is. So when we find out what the tax percent is, so we're going to find tax percent. This is assuming you don't have it on your receipt. With what I'm seeing, most receipts don't have it, but you got some receipts that do. But if they don't, here's a quick way you could do it. All right, so again, based off of the percent change, you simply take the difference of the two numbers. Now, the difference of the two numbers is simply the tax amount. All right, so if you go back and if I take the total, like I'm taking the total, that number there, which is at $8.78, subtracting $8.28, I'm going to get that tax amount. So that would be the difference. So I wouldn't even need to do the calculation there. All I need to know is the tax amount, which is usually on your receipt. All right, so there's my tax amount. And even if it's not there, just simply take your total and subtract the subtotal. That will be your tax amount. All right, so you take that tax amount and you're going to divide it by subtotal. All right, so that's your subtotal. So again, in this case, we're taking the tax amount, which is 50 cents. All right, and we're going to divide it by the subtotal, which is $8.28. Now, I'm going to take that simple calculation, and of course, with your phones, a lot of you do have your phones, which you have your simple calculators on there. You just do that simple division. That's all you have to do. So in this case, I'm going to take my 50 cents, or just simply 0.5, divide that by $8.28. And there's your 6% right there. So that's what it should be. That's what the receipt said. So that is a simple calculation on how you find, well, the tax amount on your receipt if it's not there. Simple calculation. No fuss, no muss. If you have it on your phone, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have calculators on your phone, it's there. Just look at a calculator app, or of course you can always ask somebody to do it for you. And if you want to actually, be funny and, maybe play a trick on somebody, actually, ask the cashier that, that works there. Some may know, some may not. You can pretty much show them how it's done. All right, but there you go, 6%. So it's going to be approximately, since you did see all of the other numbers there, but there you go, 6%. So that was what the tax receipt said. As you can see, 6%. That is 6% tax in Maryland. Yes, I did go to Maryland, out to Maryland, and I bought a couple of cards, but there you go. So anytime you have a receipt of any purchase and they have the tax amount but don't have the tax percentage, you could be in a state that maybe you've never been before and you just was curious just to see what the tax percent is, and it's not there. Simple calculation. So again, take your tax amount, divide it by your subtotal, and there you have it. And well, from there, you can pretty much shop anywhere and won't be any worries. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this made some things a little bit simpler for you. We'll have some videos coming soon. Anything you want, let me know. You can definitely email me. That is Professor Ratliff, PROFRATLIFF @gmail.com. So if you have any suggestions or any comments, definitely you can put comments on this video. And anything you want to see, I'll make sure to put it up there. All right, so happy calculating.